Oh, hi everybody. Welcome to Not Near Mint. But you're not here for me. The music you're listening to is by Mark Sixma, along with ANVY. This is your tune of the week. The name of the song is called Meet Again. This is the ReOrder remix. And while some of you filter on into the chat room, I want to thank you all for coming nice and early. And this isn't what I meant to show, but this was. I'm just going to wait until a few more people are in the chat room. I want to say hello to everybody that's here. Smiley Tori, welcome. Along with Life with Two YouTubers. Ricky Ricardo Rodriguez Vacas. We also have Dan Piercy, Flashpoint Comics, Michael Schmidt, Dan Piercy. So we'll show the last couple of these and then we'll move on out to the rest of the show. It's been a month. And it looks like Miracleman just got here. You're probably wondering if I'm going to get all the way to at 181, huh? And again, you can check out Mark Sixma. The link is in the description below. I do not have it. But there was something that came in earlier today, actually yesterday, if I'm being all honest, and I think we should say hi to all the people that are part of the Not Near Mint crew. What do you say, everybody? Let's welcome Comics on the Mind Shifts.
Oh no, I'm frozen. What's up, everybody? If you can hear me from outer space, I'm still here.
Try popping out, and I'll pop you back in just a moment.
Got it.
We also have Lady Fantastic.
Woo. How you doing? How you doing?
Oh, I can't complain. I worked today for once. I feel like you guys.
Man, I had a Zoom meeting, and it was the most boring thing ever.
You would think that with the Zoom that things would get a little bit easier, and no, everybody's still just as awkward as ever, right?
Yeah, well, I did see something really cool where Conan O'Brien was just dropping into random businesses' Zooms because of all this, working remotely. It was really fucking funny. He'd be like, hey guys, come on, we got to get to work here. Teamwork. I don't know, I liked it.
Well, teamwork's always a little helpful. And look at who is also joining us today. It is Miracleman.
Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. And
the show's interactive, Rob.
Yeah, but I'm looking over down here at Mind Shift just to make sure that his screen isn't frozen. And it looks like he is good to go.
There he is.
Back.
You're a brave man. You're a brave man, my friend, because your camera already crapped the bed on you once, and you're over here doing all kinds of hand motions and stuff. Like,
I am almost afraid.
Not from this way. I'll open this way. What's up, Miracle Man?
not much, buddy. Not much. I've had myself a fantastic week.
Nice.
Fantastic
That's
week.
great.
I pulled the trigger, and I don't want to. I'm sorry, I don't want to mess up the show here or nothing, Rob. But I pulled the trigger, and I deleted my Twitter tweets that were hateful.
No.
Yes, very hateful. I said he to a man who was a man and not identifying as a trans woman, and therefore Twitter decided that I needed to be punished for that. And I'm glad that I've learned my lesson, or whatever.
Are you still going to say he and she to actually people that are he and she, only for people to report you later on?
Actually, you know what? I had actually a long-standing policy of using non-gender specific pronouns, because it's really not that difficult. I know a lot of people struggle with it, and I'm not mocking anybody who struggles with it. If you struggle with it, hey, you struggle with it. But I found if you actually try it, it's really not that tough. You could say they and them. You just think about everybody in the past tense. It's real easy.
It's kind of like an old experiment I remember hearing back in college. Try going an entire day without using the word I.
Right.
Not so easy.
Right.
I don't know if I could do that.
Tough
You
one.
just did it.
I know.
So, how has everybody's week been?
I'm sick of this shit.
I think we are.
Well, we got good news though, right, guys?
Yeah, I guess comics are coming back, right?
Comics are coming back, boys and girls.
What I heard?
Next Wednesday, DC Comics. I actually got a little bit of information from my buddy who owns the LCS. DC Comics is going to be shipping out to the shops next week. It's going to be a graduated delivery. They're not going to be hammering the stores with, tons of, hey, boy, you had 7. Not going to be hammering the stores with tons of product, a month's worth of back stock or anything like that. They're going to be bringing them out nice and slow to make it easy for the stores. And, being back on Twitter today, I saw just what these creators are doing. There's so many of them. That's fair, Ricardo. There's there's so many of these creators that are doing great things. I saw a post from Gail Simone today where she offered any shops in her local area, she's going to show up with a box full of stuff autographed to help the stores out. They just to give it to them. She'll stay and do signings. Once she runs, through her local stores, she'll start moving further and further out. Apparently, she lives in Oregon, which means she'll likely run into Aaron Myers at some point. Just seeing what all these creators are doing. You got the Jim Lee sketches that he's doing. You got all these guys really trying to help out the comic shops, and obviously Twitter was a place where a lot of them were connecting. So it was nice to get back and see that. But our comic shops are going to be a from what I can tell from this deal from DC, it does actually look pretty good for our shops. Are going to be taken care of. So,
but from what it's looking like, and they keep changing the goalposts here. But from what I'm noticing, they're trying to say that towards the end of the month, they're going to be getting all these Walmart type of reprints, digital onlys, direct into stores through, I guess, the CBCS, but not CBCS. It's some company that just formed overnight, along with Midtown Comics. And they're going to go direct to stores, bypassing Diamond distribution.
Yep.
And then Diamond later in May, maybe June, the goalpost keeps moving, might start getting back to actual books. But first we have to wait for printing to get back to normal and people to get back to work because, with comics, you can't eat a comic book.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of people who are going to not be able to pick up books. I talked to the guy who owned my shop, and I said, he said it. People don't have to buy all the books at once. I will put them in your bin, folks. They'll be here. You don't have to come in and buy everything right away. There's definitely going to be some struggles for some of these guys and gals out there that own the stores.
Thank you.
But I do think they're going to be doing a lot better. Has anybody else seen the website? The guy who owns my shop showed me the website that DC's using. Anybody else seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
That's going to do more to kill Diamond than anything else.
Good.
If you guys see that, if you guys get an opportunity, if you stop into your shops, ask them if you can see the DC ordering site. It's a site designed in 2020. It's brand new. They just put all this stuff together. It's professional. It's streamlined. It looks good. It's very intuitive to use. Thank you very much, boy. And he showed it to me and he went through it. They're getting the same discounts, volume discounts, as if they were buying it through Diamond, so they're not losing. That I like that camera angle out, Rob. It looked right. And they're not going to be hurting when it comes to a lot of stores were worried that they're going to lose out on that, but on those discounts, but they're still going to honor them for them. So I'm pretty excited about it. Death to Diamond.
I don't have any luck.
Thus the death of Superman books.
Right,
We all
exactly
have
right.
to
You got it. Sorry, Rob. I talked right over you. What'd you say?
Oh no, I said I think we all have some Death of Superman going on right now, which it killed the comic industry once. But I'm looking at, all right, so here's something, and this is pretty damn huge, so I'm going to blow the screen up for just a second. I've been reading this, and this is Marvel, the chronicle of the year-by-year, month-by-month history of the entirety of the Marvel universe.
That's
And right now, it's looking more and more like this is the year of 1957. And in the year of 1957, yeah, it looked like everything was dire. They were being published by a national periodical at that time, and no one knew whether or not Marvel would continue on. And it took a couple of years. Nothing was overnight. But by 1961, you had Fantastic Four. 1962, you had Spider-Man. And hey, everything was back to normal. If not back to normal, better than ever. Because you had Frederick Wertham with The Seduction of the Innocent that almost completely killed all of comic books. And now we're back to almost that same kind of position where comics are almost cold. Right down to the very base of grass that you see cut on a Sunday morning. And now it's time to see if it can grow again. And I think it can. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
No, I don't think you're wrong, man. I've said it to you before. The comics aren't going anywhere. Marvel and DC, you know what's going to happen? We're going to lose some small pubs. Some of these independents and some of these self-published books are going to, probably merge, move other places. Some of them are going to go forever. We're definitely going to lose some books, which is sad. Hopefully some of them come back, but, we're going to lose some stuff. But, when you're talking about comics going away, Marvel and DC aren't going anywhere. They're the cheapest IP farm that the two multinational, sorry, let me rephrase that the two global entertainment industries that are Disney and AT&T, they're the cheapest IP farm either one of them owns. And if Disney loses Marvel, that gives AT&T one up on them and vice versa. So neither of them are going to let them do it. They will hemorrhage money out of that business for decades before they're willing to just throw them away.
Good.
And no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
First, they have to be profitable. And if it's not profitable after about a month or so, people are going to look for anything else just to remain afloat. Because right now I'm already hearing stories of those people, especially in Texas, that they don't have money to begin with, and then they get the Rona, go to the hospital. They're expecting that $1,200 check. Never comes because a creditor has taken it.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, that
so
kind of
messed
stuff
up.
Across the country. So there's that's happening.
Yeah, I mean the checks are nice, but let's be
Does
honest.
Miracleman?
The checks are nice, but let's be honest. Without a moratorium on some of these things, these people who are getting $1,200. Let's say you got two kids, you got $2,200. That's great. That's probably in most places going to cover your rent, maybe the car payment.
Yep.
Not here in California.
Right. You might cover a room in California. It's expensive, but let's just say you're in a less expensive place. Might cover that. Even in less expensive places, that money's not going far. And have we seen anything about them doing anything with, putting a moratorium on car loans, put a moratorium on rents, put a moratorium on mortgages? Don't take it away. Don't say you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Put this stuff at the end of the loans, man.
They have one out here in California, a moratorium on rent.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
But instead of actual physical laws, they're mostly just executive orders that have an end date. So unless by putting it at the very end of the payment, by putting it into an actual clause or law, once that executive order runs out, it's back to normal.
And because our building is in a rent strike right now. Ours started at on the March the 13th, and so they're trying to make people pay for March. And so people here in the comic books are fighting it because it's not right. Because people don't have that kind of money right now. So, yeah.
I personally have been exceptionally lucky. I did get furloughed for 15 days, but my wife had just gotten a nice raise, so really we're just right back where we were before she got the raise. So we weren't we weren't hurt so far by it, but I know there's people who really are. I got friends who my brother, he's not working at all. Both of my sisters are working from home. They're in the healthcare industry, so they're doing okay. But I know people who aren't working, and it's definitely hurting.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, today was the first time in almost 3 weeks that I finally had a job, and it turned out to be the most complicated thing that I could imagine. That was not a deposition. Instead, it was my hiring attorney that hired me because he was representing an attorney that's suing another firm that he left, but because he revealed how much everyone was making, the people that he's suing are now suing him. So there were 13 people, 14 including myself, that were all on a damn phone call. And I had to try and figure out who the hell was who as I keep popping my head up. And that's when I realized if I keep my head really close to the screen, I can be taking puffs and taking a drink of soda and no one really knows or even cares. But it's almost back to business as usual. It's not business as usual. I'm hurting really bad. But it felt really nice to get back to some kind of whatever it might be.
Yeah. Tough times, man. Tough times. I hope we all make it out a lot better. One of the things I've noticed is that, and you've said it many times, I've experienced it more on the Twitter side of it, but the comic community on YouTube, the comic community on Twitter, all really great people. Everyone I've interacted with, even the people that I may not align with on some other things. I can say right now I've seen good stuff come out of those folks trying to do good to help each other out. So that's definitely nice to see.
Yeah, I agree.
Quickly, speaking of helping people out, I want to throw this link up here. We do have her in the chat. Her name is Life with Two YouTubers. It's because of her that I met a certain young Rena Brown, and her book got released the weekend that the Rona really started getting bad around the country. This is the book. It's called Isle of the Dark. It just came out about last Saturday, I believe. She started getting all of these sent out. If you go to the website, they cost about $25 shipped. I look forward to start reading it hopefully sometime this week. I got one. Lady Fantastic got one.
I bought one. I'm just waiting for mine.
Kirk got one. And I don't think that Miracleman knows them too well, so it's okay. But we'll get to reading it, and we'll have a book club.
No, sadly, I did not.
Don't die.
So now that we're all done with the Rona, you want to talk some comics?
Did anyone get books? Yeah, I heard that some of y'all got some comics. Lady Fantastic, you were the only one in our little chat today that didn't say anything, which must mean that you got something really interesting to show us.
I mean, I have a few books, but not much.
Show us what you got.
So this one I had to get because it was hilarious, but it's Jeffrey Dahmer versus Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Awesome. That moon is awesome in the background.
Yeah. This came out in 1993. There are a couple of things I want to show you. It's a wraparound. So.
Oh, I want it already.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
That's
you
awesome.
got that, right? That's great. And then there's this weapon in here that I want to show you because it was very reminiscent of Codpiece, the character that we.
No way.
So
Seriously?
do you see this weapon right here?
Oh my god.
The one that,
I can't.
fuck, I'm grabbing the wrong one. This dick weapon.
Nice.
That's
Oh my God.
Did you say that was a D weapon?
A dick. It's a big dick. Look at it.
It is with a cross.
Yeah, because it's like these are like Jesus people coming after like Clinton and Bush. It's crazy. And then Ross Perot kills everybody.
I love that. I need that book.
You need
What
to
year
read
did
it.
that come
It's in
out?
black and white. Too. It's pretty cool.
1993.
Yeah, that's on the list.
1993.
Who's
And
the
Who's the publisher? Boneyard.
Oh, Boneyard. I think I have a Boneyard book here.
So here's.
Welcome to the boneyard.
I think. Yeah, this is when Ross Perot takes over. Right there. He kills everybody.
Ross
Yeah.
Perot.
Yeah. So this is a good one, guys. I'm just saying.
That seems way too appropriate for the year.
I mean, with all the shit that was been going on, it just felt right. Like I had to get this. It just made sense. And I got this from a comic lot. I paid about $15 for the comic lot. But
Oh, wow, that cover looks beautiful.
yeah, it had this Fumetti in it. These are some of the things that came in that. I mean, this isn't that great, but it's #1. I have the entire encyclopedia, but those are kind of fun.
Yeah.
I had shown you guys this earlier. This was from a different thing, but it's a Mike Zeck autograph.
Love it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's really nice. G.I. Joe 38. This came Micronauts #1.
Oh, yes. That's
Nice.
the awesome cover.
Yeah, and I got it for a really good deal because there's like a little tear and I don't give a shit. Yeah. And then I got New Mutants #5. This is the first appearance of Elixir.
Great cover.
Sweet.
Yeah,
George
yeah.
Milton, right?
Cover artist.
Yeah. Who's the cover artist?
Yeah, does it say?
Milton?
It says, I'll have to look at. It's got some sort of strange marking, but I don't know what that is.
I'm not 80% certain it's Josh Middleton.
Do you think so? Yes, it is. You're
Yeah.
right.
Right on.
Hey.
Hey. Okay. I didn't know if this was. So here's his little fuck. Not his little fuck, but here's his little
I don't know if I'd like to meet them, but I'll go in.
that thing. That's his little. You can't tell. It looked like a jam, but. All right. Anyways, and then the last thing that came in the lot with the Fumetti or whatever was one of these.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I'm in trouble.
Nice.
and that's all I got. That's all I got.
Well, that's some good looking stuff right there.
Thank you, boys.
Some good looking stuff.
Damn. I wish I could buy comic books again.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I probably can't. I'll get paid.
You could like comic books? I thought you liked it. What are you doing with them?
Oh, I can still buy them if I go broke.
Oh,
You
wish you could buy comics again.
I won't lie, you seem to be prioritizing food and rent over comics, and I'm not familiar with this. Could you explain?
I kind of like surviving and not being homeless again.
I mean, I can always steal food, man. I can always steal food. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, we actually have somebody. This just happened earlier today down here in Miami because Miami. We had somebody that tried breaking into somebody's home so that they could steal food and use their Wi-Fi for their kids.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
What else do you break into homes for?
Give me an hour of
You guys remember these?
Wi-Fi. Nobody gets
Is that the binder?
Yes, fucking
Oh, my
it is.
goodness.
1995, bitches.
That's fucking sweet.
Yeah, I got the entire. So here's the Fleer Ultra 95 set, and it's like the first set that I've got in there. But then there's actually in the back, I've got my entire Fleer Ultra. Ooh, let me go this. Here's my Fleer Ultra 94. Come at me, bitches. I got you. I got you. Yeah, I have a lot of these. It's bad.
You know, I really dig finding those binders
Me too.
for the cards. They did the binders for the cards.
I know.
I
They're
don't know
hard to find. Hold on, I'm gonna get mine. I got a couple other.
even tougher to find are the binders for they did binders for Marvel Universe, the Marvel Universe handbook, and they did binders for
I know the Marvel Universe Handbook. I know because I've seen those. You can get them, but they're kind of ratty.
Yeah, man, they're not the greatest, but to find decent condition ones, they're not the easiest. And then, like I said, they also did Who's Who ones, and those are even tougher.
Yeah.
Those are actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Those are actually kind of cool.
Hold on, let me go find it.
I'm being told by Ricky Ricardo Rodriguez Vacas, eat my comics.
Don't eat your comics. Don't eat your comics. Don't put that down, Rob. Put that down, man. Ah. You know, I remember that was
I'm sorry. That's toilet paper for later on.
I remember when that was $200, man. That book was a hot book for a minute.
It was a spicy meatball.
Okay.
Oh, lady brought the blinders.
Uh-oh. What's going
What you
on?
got,
Well,
girl?
let's see what she got.
What you
She
got?
just got real.
Oh, that's
Or Series 2. So I've got Series 1 in the back,
sweet.
Series 2 in the front. I got all this shit, all the inserts. Please. Look at this shit. Spider-Man, bitches.
The 90s were a weird, wacky time, boys and girls.
There's
It's like Magdalene with weird painted art.
Yeah. Look.
They're sweet, though, man. You find these things, you find a full set of these. Look at that. Look at that. You find a full set of these cards right now, I guarantee you'd buy them.
Yeah.
Fucking A, you would. I would shit on you if you didn't.
Guarantee. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Not Near Mint is a show designed for people over the age of 18. It is not a show designed for people under the age of 18.
Yeah. Don't be a bitch.
If you're under the age of 18, please turn this show off right fucking now.
Yeah. All right, you get the gist. But so there's that. Those are all my Spider-Man cards. And then I'll just show you one more. I have a lot of these, so this could be a whole nother. But do you remember this one?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Gorgeous.
I know.
Those are the nicest look. Did you buy those binders in the 90s? Like, did you buy them when they came out?
eBay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
I'll say
They
because
look
they're
better
gorgeous.
than what I see in stores.
Right.
And I've been to a lot of stores and conventions that have that stuff, and it looks pretty much like they threw it into storage into
Right.
some place with dirt and termites, and then,
Yep.
hey, kids want to buy this? Ugh.
Yeah.
When did cards drop out? When did non
97, 96, 97.
didn't Topps get bought by Marvel or something like that? Or
Yeah.
was
It
it
was something weird like that.
It was
And
around the
that's-
same time that they got bought by Malibu Comics. It was the huge big deal. And they didn't know what to do with one another, so they just started putting out Marvel comic cards.
Right. Yeah, they swamped the market with those things, man. You couldn't give those things away for like 10 years. People had no interest in them. No interest.
That's some hard to find ones.
That's why all the binders look beat, because people did throw them in a store's locker and forgot about them for 10 years.
Jerks.
Overall. How about Comics on the Mind? Did you get anything over the last week? I think you said you got some stuff on eBay.
Did I get something? No, I said I had a AOK that I got from Mynd.
But didn't your Moon Girl come in?
Oh yeah. I thought I showed you guys that. Yeah.
Well, you didn't show the people, did you?
Oh,
Gorgeous.
issue number 1. I read it and it was great. I can't wait.
Telling you, man.
And then issue number 2.
Nice.
Issue number 3 is I already put it away, so I'm not going to get it. But I love the relationship that they have. I can't wait to see if she's going to turn into an Inhuman. You know, I love the Inhumans, so she's working on trying to stop, the Terrigen Mist so she doesn't get turned into one, because she has like the trait of the Inhumans in her genes. So yeah, I can't wait to continue reading and see what happens. And I also got an AOK.
What do you guys mean by AOK? I'm not familiar. What does that mean?
Act of kindness, basically, like yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
I'm not familiar because people don't like me, but go ahead.
Oh,
Well, just give it enough time, because there's plenty of people that like you, but you don't have like a YouTube channel for people to. express how much they like you.
That's true. That's true.
And you need an Instagram. I mean, I would have thought with all that time being away from Twitter, you would have started an Instagram because that's where all the community is.
Listen, I'll tell you a story about Instagram.
Twitter.
That's why I started. I started on Instagram. I wasn't originally here.
When Mind Shift is done, I'll tell you my Instagram story. Go ahead.
Can't wait to hear this. So Man Cave blew me away, like with this AOK. Like I was jaw dropped on the ground. What's up, Splash Face? White gloves in the house. Yeah, every one of these are like Silver Age, like bangers, and I'm. Whew. So the first one is Strange Tales number 125.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ben Graham, aka The Thing, fighting the Mariner. I love that. Never seen him fight, so that's awesome. Continuing with some Strange Tales, issue 127. More Ben Graham action.
Oh yeah. That's pretty.
Look at that. So cool.
Mm.
And then I didn't know this, shout out to all my DC homies out there and homettes that scooped me on this. I did not know this was the first appearance of the new Teen Titans.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really cool cover. And everybody was, when I showed it off, everybody was like, oh my gosh, first new Teen Titans.
I'm telling you, 8 years ago, that book was clogging dollar bins across the nation.
Really?
I guess you got that for only a couple bucks, and I'm the dumbass that spent like at least $80 for it about a year and a half ago.
I bought it for 50 cents.
Ah!
Ouch!
I actually think I have 2 copies because my first one had like a little dinger in the corner, and I remember picking up a second copy in a dollar bin and going, "Should I buy 2? I mean, do I really need a second one?" So I actually have. I think I have 2 for a total of $1.50. Not bragging, just saying.
No,
the poser says, "Holy shit, that's a great book! Beautiful,
Beautiful.
It's a beauty." So I have 2 more. They're slabby slabs. So this one blew me away, but that's not the one that blew out. The next one's what blew me away. But here's some.
Oh yeah.
Tales to Astonish.
Wow.
It is 96. Yeah, 96. You guys know I'm working on this run, and I was like super psyched when I saw this in the box. And it's a beautiful cover, beautiful skull cover. Now this one, like I was shocked, and I was like, it almost looks like Golden Age status. It's a little bit after Golden Age, but it's a painted cover, and I'm like, if anybody knows the artist, please tell me. But got some Turok action.
Ooh.
Look at that cover. I love that like sea monster, and they're fighting him with a bow and arrow at what looks like a bat. They're food, basically. But
I could be wrong. It looks like Don Heck, but painted over.
Yeah, and it's a restored copy, but I don't care. Like I love it. This is like never leaving my collection.
There's the restoration.
Where is it? Oh, small amounts of color touch on the cover. Yeah, they colored the cover, I believe. So interesting, but it still looks beautiful. I love it. Shout out to Man Cave Comics out there. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you and your son.
A lot of those gold key covers were painted by the same artist, a guy named George Wilson.
I gotta look him up.
Yeah, he was a Gold Key artist. Gold Key was the Western Publishing comic book division. It's the same people who do the little golden books.
Oh yeah.
And they had, those covers, man, they're all just freaking gorgeous, but the interior is never really the same.
Well, good to get slabbed.
How is that different from looking at a Matina cover? You open the inside and it's done by like Kano or something.
Oh yeah,
Get over here.
No, there was an artist back in the early 2000s that was working on the new X-Men book. Whenever Ethan Van Sciver couldn't work on a book, they'd put this other guy in, and he was working on 20 books a month, it seemed, and his art just looked like done.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, it wasn't great. They definitely hired some people. It was definitely a grist mill for a while there. They would hire some people just to work. Just put us out books, man. Let's go. Yeah.
Like, we don't even care if it's good anymore. You can't make it in time. That's all that they cared about,
Right.
which I kind of appreciated over Images. How long did it take for Wetworks #2 to come out?
I think we're still waiting on it, aren't we?
No, actually, longer.
No, I got it too.
It came out going, oh my God.
Well, the final issue of Planetary took a solid 2 years, but I believe the artist, was on his deathbed. I mean, he was pretty ill at the time, and it took 2 years to put it out.
That's Cassidy, right? John
Yeah.
Cassidy?
Yeah, and some of these guys, doing books. You mentioned a name earlier. I won't mention that name because it's considered a little gauche when I do it. But that individual, I believe, is now working on their second book in 4 years, and should be at the prime of their creative time. But what are you gonna do?
That was like I was told years ago by, I think it was Stan Lee. If you can do 2 out of these 3 things, you'll be good in any job that you ever get in. Number 1, be a superstar. If you can't do that, then at least be punctual and make sure you get along with the people that you work with, and you'll be able to stay in whatever industry you want to be in forever.
Yep. You can have.
Farland said that.
I think
Farland.
I thought that was Game.
I keep forgetting who told me that because I feel like
I thought it was McFarlane.
Oh, I did.
I don't know.
I can't remember anymore. It's been so long.
Well,
if you remember the words.
Well, I got some comics. You guys want to see? You want to see what I got?
Sure.
Show it off.
I didn't go. Okay, I did go to the shop. But I didn't get a ton of new books. I got a couple of oddball weird books. But I wanted to show you this. This was, and I posted this on the tweeters today. And I'm gonna let you all know. This here is kind of a minor grail for me.
You've been looking for that.
I've been looking for this, man. So there's 3 issues to Femme Fantastique. This is issue number 3. It's from Paragon Publications. Not DC. And who do we see there? Wonder Woman right on the front cover. Now, here's the thing. This is technically a fanzine. That's how they got Wonder Woman on the cover. And to call this a fanzine, they had to do an article about Wonder Woman. Now, Wonder Woman was out because this magazine is from 1978. Wonder Woman had a television show. So what do? They give you a quick little pictorial, and here's your one little blurb, and a couple of pictures from the comic, a couple of pictures from the show. Good Lord, Linda Carter was just gorgeous. And that's it. That's it for Wonder Woman on there. But there she is on the cover. Couple of really cool things about this. First of all, and I didn't see this on the back cover originally. This is a Dick Giordano cover. All of these characters right here are Golden Age superheroines. The 2 on the left are still in use today by the publisher of this magazine, a guy by the name of Bill Black, under his AC imprint. They're part of the Femme Force team, which I'm a big fan of. This young lady is actually Phantom Lady right there. The Phantom Lady we had discussed previously, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
And she is quite... she's got a whole story in here, a couple of different stories in here, but here's one of the reasons I wanted to get this. First of all, now I'm going to warn you. Why don't you put that banner up there real quick there, buddy? Okay.
Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Got to have that one ready when I'm starting to show off the oddball stuff.
I should have it ready anytime you're about ready to go.
That's fair. Viewer discretion advised. Not Near Myth is a show that is designed for viewers of the age of 18 or older. If you're under the age of 18, please fuck off. So right here, you see, we have a gorgeous Alex Toth Black Canary.
Yeah.
So Toth, Alex did a lot of work with Bill Black. After he wasn't really working with the big names anymore. He did a lot of work with him. He commissioned for a lot of pieces. He did multiple Black Canary pieces for him. And as you can see, there's a Batgirl with a butt there. I don't know what's going on with that one. But right there, you have that. I mean, that's just a gorgeous pinup piece right there. Right on the inside, and here's one of the things that I was really excited to see. It's going to sound dumb. This here's an ad for Wits End magazine, which is a Wally Wood adult fantasy magazine that was being published in the 70s.
And what year did this come out?
This one came out in 76. With this issue of Wits End came out in 76. I want to say the first one came out in 74. Now, you see the names that are included there, right?
Yep.
Okay. You name a creator that was working at this era, they did stuff in Wits End. Frazetta did a couple of fantasy pieces in there. Thorne did a couple of pieces. In fact, right here we have on the back cover.
Oh, there you go.
Gorgeous Frank Thorne.
In proportion.
Yeah, right.
Proper proportion.
Gorgeous Frank Thorne, Red Sonja. How do you not just? I mean, God, how do you not just love Frank Thorne's Red Sonja?
Here's a good question. From Wally Wood, do you remember what year he committed suicide in? Oh, sorry, died by suicide.
84.
84. That's late.
84. He was pretty much blind in 1980, 81. So he wasn't able to really work any longer at that point. You know, I'm a big Wally Wood fan. I've been collecting his Thunder Agent stuff for years. I even went out and I got the Fantagraphics made a book. Con de Fee was all the erotic work of Wally Wood, and I bought that. It was a beautiful hardcover. It came out not long ago. Highly recommended if you can track it down. Some of this stuff is so hard to find. It's just next to impossible. He did a lot of work that never actually put his name on. He did a lot of work that was for magazines and fanzines that no longer exist. The original creators, the companies that published it don't exist. The people who did it, they're all dead. So it's just there's just no way to get some of this stuff anymore. And Paragon here is one of my favorite small press 70s Bronze Age publishers, because the guy did. I mean, it was less. I'm just going to be honest. It was lots of boobies. Okay. But it was superhero boobies in a time in which nobody had done superhero boobies. You know what I mean? He was blazing trails, as odd as that may sound. But it's not just that. They were actually really fun characters that had been largely abandoned. He used a lot of Golden Age characters in the 70s. And their creators had abandoned them because they had gone belly up and nobody bought them out. Or they never renewed copyrights. And to get material with those characters again, especially with a 70s bent to it, and to find that stuff now is just awesome, man. Good point, Gray Man.
Yes, Gray Man asked, how can she swing a sword with them knuckles?
That's a great question.
I mean, listen, the lady knows what she's doing. Okay, Red Sonja knows what she is doing. I love the Red Sonja books. The modern Red Sonja books are good, are really great. The original Red Sonja books were great. I think once the movie came out, I think it changed, the style and the way the character was portrayed. And I think it lost something there. But if you find that old stuff, man, it's always worth a pickup. And here I am talking half an hour on one book. I'm sorry. I got a crap ton of books here. I'm sorry. I'm gonna speed it up. So anyway, this was my super excited about this. But I visited an LCS and I picked up some 50-cent books, some El Cheapos, Some oddball stuff. A little Bloodlust #1 from Slave Labor Graphics. Kind of a funky looking little book. Great cover. Interiors don't quite match. Sword of Sorcery #5. This is a sweet cover, man.
It's Mike Grill.
Actually, you know what? I don't know. I don't know who that is. I'll have to look that up and get back to you on that one. I don't.
That looks completely unfamiliar to me.
Yeah. So that was one of those DC implosion titles. You know, they put it out because they were trying to capitalize on the sword and sorcery stuff. Conan was doing well. Red Sonja was doing well. That they didn't do well. And what
Well, funny thing, I was reading that book that I showed you earlier, that really huge thing, and National Periodical, the advertising company that put out all of DC, only allowed a certain amount of titles to be published by anybody that was underneath their umbrella. Like Marvel at one point, when they were with them, could only put out 8 to 13 books a month, which is why you had Tales to Astonish, Tales of Suspense, and pretty much DC was just a chugger all along from like the 30s, so they could publish a bit more than what Atlas and Timely was publishing at the time. So much like we were saying, yeah, there was a limited amount of titles that they were allowed to be put out on newsstands.
Right. And you know, this one here is it's not good. It's just not good. But I had to get it because the cover art is great on every issue of Sword of Sorcery. It's really good. Going a little quicker here. Showcase number 93.
Oh, nice.
Red-haired greenies.
I know, right?
Oh God.
So this is the third appearance of a character that did not do well. Manhunter 2070. I have the first one. I don't have the second one. I had to grab this one because this is the red hair greenies issue.
Yeah.
You know,
Manhunters.
Why wouldn't you? Well, this Manhunter was later used by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez and Howard Chaykin in their Twilight miniseries that came out in the late 80s. If you're unfamiliar, I'll dig that out later and show it to you because that's a banger of a DC series. 3 prestige issues, and it's freaking phenomenal. But basically, think of it's like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but with all of DC's sci-fi and space characters. So they take all of them, they put them in one shared universe and one shared timeline. And Tommy Tomorrow is like a fascist dictator. It's good stuff. You got to read it. And Lopez, you know, how you love it.
Anytime I think DC, him and Carmine Infantino.
Yep, especially in the 80s.
Oh yeah,
especially in the 80s. So here we got Super Team Family number 13 and 15.
Yeah, that's the last one. That's a good one.
Right? I didn't realize this, but Super Team Family isn't just reprints. They actually have an original story. And issue 13 here is a direct continuation from Secret Society of Supervillains number 8 with the Kid Flash appearance. So it leads right into this issue, apparently, at the end of that one. I never knew that. This one, all right, this isn't the one you're going to think it is right off the bat.
Oh, my gosh.
It's the Secret Origins. So it's still a cool cover, but it's the
Any Alan Moore in there?
What's that?
Any Alan Moore in there?
I don't think Moore did anything in this one. No, he did that one with all the Batman villains.
The first issue.
Yeah. No, that's the annual. I think it's an annual. So it's the annual. But yeah, so I picked up a couple of secret. None of them are as cool as that one, but this just about finished off my Secret Origins volume. I think that's volume 3. I found a very near the end Warlord. You know, you find those early Warlords like crazy.
Yeah.
But after like 120,
It's a beautiful cover.
right? Great cover.
Yeah.
You know, after you get past issue 120 on Warlord, if you find them and they're cheap, grab them because they really are tough to find. The rest is crazy easy. So if you ever have interest, if you get the high ones, you're good. That's all you need to worry about. The rest are easy to come by.
Flashpoint loved that issue.
Yeah, it's a great book. It's a great book. And then, dude, check this out. This 0 Hour preview.
Top secret.
You know 0 Hour? Y'all know 0 Hour?
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Originally, it was supposed to be Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2. Was essentially it tried. It's failed, but it tried. But it was cool. It was cool to find this one. I love finding these little promo pieces. And
we
then
got Mrs. Hitman out of it.
right? No, that was Bloodlines.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But we got Starman because of 0 Hour, and Starman's one of the greatest. Yeah. Adventure Comics 473. I love these Plastic Man Starman adventure books, man. That's Ditko creation, obviously Cole creation. But they're just wacky, man. They're just weird books. I'm gonna skip ahead here a little bit, just pull a couple of these out. Kirby book there. The Galactic Bounty Hunters. I'd never heard of this. But that is Captain Victory right there, which is one of his more popular third-party characters, non-Big Two characters. And then I went and I got a little Adam Hughes crazy. 50-cent pickups. 1, 2, and 3 of his 4 appearances on the covers of Legionnaires. Gotta love that Hughes stuff, man. And then this will be it. I'll show you this. Actually, no, I got 2 more to show you after this. All right. I went Hughes crazy. I just went Hughes crazy, man. I finished almost the whole series here. I got like 2 more issues. How often do you see lingerie bondage on a cover? I don't see that very often.
On Rose and Thorn number 4.
What's that?
On Rose and Thorn number 4, also by Adam Hughes.
Adam Hughes, yes, absolutely. I don't know how he gets away with it on DC books all the time, but look at these covers. Even fast.
I've never heard of this series before.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it was the spinoff from Fables. I never read a single one, but I read all of Fables.
Here's the big one. See, I got number 1, which is still it's a gorgeous cover. Here's the big one from the series. You'll see why momentarily. That's the tough one to come by.
Oh, hello.
Nice. That was a great cover.
Yeah. Lady Godiva there.
2012, 2011?
Yeah, I think that's about right. 2012.
He's promoting the Green Arrow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was 2012. Great series. There were a couple of spin-offs. That there was probably the most beautiful of them. Obviously, because Hughes had a lot to do with that. And then I made a nice score on eBay. A couple of really great books. This is from Verotic World on eBay. These are reprints of Golden Age books they put out in the 90s. $10. And then another $10 with this gorgeous Dave Stevens cover.
Worth it for the Stevens cover alone.
That's that. I don't even care if I read it. I don't even care if I read it. Look at that. Just a gorgeous cover. Then
now, just a note to people at home: human breasts don't look like that in real life, and if they do, you should probably be unbotched.
Do you know what the problem is with those? I think I figured out what it is. I think they're actually armor plates over her nipples.
Why just the nipples?
Well, you don't want your nipples shot off. Think about how much that would hurt.
I don't know. Just ask, what is it, Andrew Cuomo and all his press briefings. It looks like he has nipple rings.
Maybe he does. Don't shame
No,
him.
that's how they look.
Don't shame the man. Couple of House of Mysteries here.
He thought it was cool.
A couple of House of Mysteries here. Both of these have Jonah Hex. Martian Manhunter, Joan Jones backups in them. But both of them have Dial H for here on the cover. Inferior 5, number 5.
Looks like the Tick.
Inferior 5?
That guy looks like the Tick.
Oh, yeah. His name's Aquaman.
Oh, yeah, he does. That's hilarious.
So Inferior 5 is a team from the 60s, and they're supposed to be the children of the world's greatest superheroes, but but they paired up wrong. Because to give you an example, Awkward Man here is the offspring of the fish, the mermaid hero, and the Amazonian princess. So he's super strong, but he's incredibly awkward on land and is constantly falling over and tripping on things. Dumb Bunny, this is not misogyny. Dumb Bunny, the only female member of the team, is pretty and dumb. Yellow Feather here is cowardly and an incredible shot with a bow and arrow. The Blimp, he can float, but because he's so heavy, he can't really fly. And then last but not least, Merryman down there, who is the team leader, incredibly intelligent, and a 98-pound weakling.
I'm strangely reminded of the Great Lakes Avengers.
I love them. I love them.
Yeah,
they're awesome.
This is really kind of that first team, though. So almost everything you've seen afterwards that's a joke super team really kind of got their cues from Inferior 5, at least at some level.
We have Gray Man asking, was it Godiva or Rapunzel on that Ferris?
You know what? That might be Ferris. That might be Rapunzel, actually. I said Godiva, but I think that might actually be Rapunzel. Yeah, Rapunzel.
All right.
Yep. Good catch, Gray Man.
Gray Man's also saying that Dumb Bunny is Angel's sister.
Yeah, so that was a retcon they did in the early 90s. They did a mini series for Angel and the Ape, and frankly, so both Inferior 5 and Angel and the Ape first appeared in Showcase. I have both of those issues, and they don't look a lot alike in those, but they do look similar. And then in the early 90s they did, and I want to say that the one in the 90s was, I don't remember who wrote that, but they did one in the 90s where it had Angel and the Ape, Gorilla Grodd, and the Inferior 5, and they made it canonical that Dumb Bunny is Angel's sister.
Huh.
Yeah. Fun. It's a fun series, man. I'm almost done with it. I think I got like 5 more issues to get. It wasn't very many. I think it was only like 12 issues.
I know they came out with a recent series of Inferior 5.
Vastly different, but yes, they did. The cool thing about the recent one was, which unfortunately I don't know when we're going to get another issue because Didio was working on it. Sakamaji, hell yeah, there, Gray Man. And the new one is a direct sequel to Invasion, DC's Invasion event from '88. So it's that one's fun. I don't know if we're gonna get it back. That one was fun. I would recommend it, but there's you don't know what's going on. It's got weird characters. It's got Tasmanian Devil. It's got Brother Power the Geek.
And we all love Brother Power the Geek from the late 60s, 70s. Oh, wait, it only lasted like, what, 4 issues? Maybe 18?
Two issues, Brother Power the Geek.
2 issues.
Yeah. Joe Simon, I think it was, created that character.
Oh.
I don't know. Simon was taking acid in the 70s and 60s. I don't care what anybody says. He did Brother Power the Geek. He did the Prez. I mean, if you read either of those books, he was high off his ass. And last but not least, as I rocketed through these books, Hawk and Dove #5, Gil Kane cover, Gil Kane interiors. That's right, it did make Grodd related to Ape. This is a really pretty book. The black is really nice on it, man.
Yeah, it is. That looks better than most copies I see of Fantastic Four 50.
Right. I mean, there's a color break crease there. There's a minor color break crease there, which I don't even know if you can see it in the camera, but it's a really nice copy. I got it for $3.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You be coming up, dude.
Wait until yeah, that would have been cool, Gray Man. Wait till the Coronas is done, man. We'll get you some. We'll do some digging.
Oh yeah.
But that's I got a couple other things, but they weren't that big, big deal or anything like that. So if you wanna you want to move along?
We're almost to the first hour of the show in, and I only got one thing. So how about we go ahead and see? Oh, I don't know. What's in the briefcase?
What's in the briefcase? Dun, dun, dun.
Briefcase sounds so professional. What's in the box is such a better meme.
Everybody has a box. Everyone's asking what's in the box. I ask, what's in the damn briefcase? And I only got one thing and one thing alone. I should probably have a light coming out of this, just like.
Oh, I was going to say the same thing. Oh.
Okay, what I got a package. How about we see what's inside? So I already cut just a little bit just so I could get this to open. I have not taken a look to see what's inside yet. So this is from, in case you haven't seen it, from Steve Whiting.
Ooh, Steve Whiting, the AOK King.
Hell yeah. Breaking news. This is from Stone Cold Steve Whiting. I don't know if he's in the chat right now. Let's take a look. He's not. So hopefully he'll take a look at it on the replay. And no, whatever's inside here, you know it's not going to be $3. So freaking Pulp Fiction with a glowing light. I should have done that. I'll do that next time.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. What's up, Comics Mix Explain?
Steve Whiting is the boss with the AOK. So how about we take a look and see what's inside?
Let's see.
So I'll throw up a little so everyone knows who I am. So as I open this little baby up here, he packages everything well. I know this from what other people have shown. Bubble wrap. Now let's put that over to the side here. And see what's inside. Got the bubble wrap off. And Rob, if you're reading this, there's no MegaCon. Next time I'm down south, we got to meet to do some hunting. This was the book I was bringing you. Hope you like it. Your friend, Stone Cold Steve. So thank you so very much, Steve Whiting. How about we take a look and see what's inside? As some people might remember from several episodes back, when I didn't know completely what I was doing, I still don't know what I'm doing. I opened this with scissors, and everyone was screaming at me, "That's a Ghost Rider first appearance. Don't do that." So I'm going to cut this tape with an X-Acto blade so I don't destroy anything. And I know what this is, which is why I started the show the way that I did. So I don't know if anybody knows what this might be, but if I know that Comics on the Mind was watching Tacoma Comics a couple days ago, and Mark Spector was on the show, and he was saying, so if anybody knows what this is, I'll give you a prize. I'm like, and he goes, well, it's a spec book, and it's a first appearance, and it's kind of older, but not too old, and he might be in a new Marvel movie. And I go, it's Strange Tales 169. Fuck you, Rob. Oh my God, I might. So this is the book. Wow, this is nice. So this is what Stone Cold Steve sent to me.
Oh, that is so awesome. First appearance.
Look at this. I have been wanting this for so long. If people remember from back in August or so, from late last year, I divorced my local comic book shop because he said, hey, I got a nice copy of Hulk 271 in. And I'm like, oh, nice. How much do you want for it? And he goes, $270.
No way.
Oh, wait, you're serious. And he's going, I sell to real collectors. And that's really what started everything going way downhill for us. But this was the same guy that would go, "Oh, I have this mark for like $2 in my bag. Let's take a look at eBay. Let's look at Key Collector app. Let's look at the guide. Well, I'm just going to use the highest price. It's not near mint. Yeah, I'm going to pick the highest price, $270. Like no one's bought it for that on eBay in forever." Needless to say, I switched comic shops. So here's another little thing. My guy, Miami Fresh Comics, I'm going to be making some posts on Instagram about it. He's going to be having a sale on his Instagram. It's going to be a live sale, kind of like what Lady Fantastic does, and it's going to be held on Sunday at 1 p.m. Follow my Instagram. I am Rob Worst _NNM on Instagram. So I just missed a whole crap ton of comments. So as I cycle through the comments, I think maybe we should start talking about the subject at hand.
What is that subject?
I kind of almost forgot after getting this first appearance of Rocket Raccoon.
That's pretty
Your
righteous.
mind is blown.
That's pretty righteous.
And Steve, thank you so much, man. This is the reason why the community exists, because when you can't buy comics like I really can't now, Rob's acting like his heart surgery.
When you were opening it, you're like,
You were.
Yeah.
You're being cautious. You're being cautious. So,
If you would have known me before when I had my like really shaky hand, I wouldn't want to cut this thing either.
so our topic goes well with our lives tonight, right, guys?
And it does.
And it does. Infectious diseases. You know, we're a very lucky group of comic nerds on this particular show because we have a real, honest to God scientist that works with us, and she's looking for someplace to hide, as we call her out. But we have a real scientist, so I thought this one would be good, would be a great idea tonight, and to see what our scientist friend here has to show us.
well, I don't have any books to show you, but I have information.
Well, that should be good.
So there's a debate on whether viruses are real or not. If they're living or not, they're real, okay? Obviously, they're real. But this is what I think. Here's why I'm going to say I don't think viruses are living things. Because I think to be a living thing, you have to be able to self-replicate, okay? Now, here's the thing. All viruses are like packaging proteins and an RNA. Well, in the case of coronavirus, that's what it is. It's just packaging proteins like the capsid head and a positive sense stranded RNA, which has its genome. All right? They can't replicate without hijacking your cell's transcriptional machinery. So it's not the viruses that are doing the work. It's your cells that are actually transcribing the genes for the virus. So, like, they're not fucking living if they don't have a host. Like, that's the thing. If you don't live autonomously and you can't thrive autonomously, I don't think that you're living. Viruses cannot self-replicate without being in a host. But anyways, I'm just saying that.
So it's kind of symbiotic. It needs something to feed off of, and then it can replicate and then find something else to feed off of.
I wouldn't call it symbiotic. I would call it it's. I can't think of a scenario where having a virus has been in a virus has been in a symbiotic relationship, because that would infer that like you get some positive help from the virus, and I don't know of any virus that's the case. There could be, but I don't know. But I think of viruses as detrimental because they don't have a mind, they don't think, but they're really good at taking over people's cells, and it just depends on your immune system and what the cell's like. And I think the reason why this COVID thing is really a big deal is because we know so little about it. And Ricardo, when he says our cells copy machines, so yeah, that would be like your DNA and RNA polymerases, and yeah. Anyways, I'm just saying, like, man, listen to the CDC. Don't listen to the man with the orange hair. He didn't get a degree in infectious diseases. Listen,
Can't even read.
He can't even fucking read.
Yeah, you know what? Not even listen. Even if you love that individual, yeah, I think
Even if you love him,
I think you can guess where most of us fall.
he's not a fucking professional in the health sciences.
But
He's a used car salesman.
You can assume he knows more than all the people in the news. You can assume he knows more than everybody in the government. Please, for the love of God, don't assume he knows more than doctors and scientists. Please just don't do that.
He knows how to grab you by the pussy.
And I'm going to put this out here again. Don't trust anybody that wears a suit. I wear a suit all the time because I'm somebody that works in observation. I'm a court reporter. And what have I observed? If somebody is wearing a suit, you should see a puppet, because they are advocating, they're taking a position from somebody that's paying them to tell them to go do something. I watched this psychopath from Las Vegas earlier today saying, I'm the mayor and I want to open up my town. Anderson Cooper's going, so will you go and hang out at the Las Vegas casinos? So I believe that these things should open. Will you go and hang out at the casino? So I used to gamble, so I don't gamble. I'm like, will you go and just shake hands with people if you're willing to go and open this? So like casinos should open and stuff. And she just starts laughing at everything she says. It's sort of like Carol Baskin for a second, which led me to believe, did she kill her husband too?
That bitch killed her husband. I'll tell you what. She killed that man and fed him to the tigers, man. Come on.
And we circle back to this.
Like, seriously, if you want to talk about, like, what kind of credentials does it take to run a nation? If you just want to, well, I think reading fluently would have to be a requisite. You don't have to be a genius. Hell, Forrest Gump would have made a good goddamn president because he knows right from wrong.
A moral, ethical compass so that you want to help other people, not just yourself, would be preferable. But whenever I see someone with a suit, again, I know they're advocating for someone else. Doesn't matter how powerful you are. If you're really powerful, you don't need to wear a suit.
It's like, here's the thing. I watched The Apprentice for entertainment. It was really bad. It was stupid. And he thought he was on top of the world with that. And honestly, he got all this fucking money from his dad. If he would have invested it, he'd be richer now than he is. And he's not got good business acumen. I just can't understand. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to sit there and watch coronavirus updates with that fool up there. Like, I get embarrassed. And that's why I watch Cuomo and pretend like he's president. And that's why
information right now.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get some real info, but we do have to deal with viruses in the real world, but so too do our favorite superheroes have to deal with viruses.
Indeed.
And they're seeing a lot
something right off the bat.
Sorry. I was
going to say, who can name something off the bat? I know you were about to. Go ahead, Miracleman.
Well, I was going to show. So, hopefully the whole world isn't dying around us anytime soon. But you guys know Jonathan Mayberry? Are you familiar with him?
Sounds familiar.
So Netflix dropped a series called V Wars not too long ago. I don't know if you saw it. Jonathan Mayberry was the writer of V Wars. Okay.
Interesting.
Here is from 2010, probably one of my favorite infectious diseases stories. Marvel Universe versus the Punisher. written
I haven't read this.
I've
Written.
never heard of this.
by Jonathan Mayberry. And if you look here, this looks kind of weird, right?
It's not Marvel Universe The End. It's just Marvel Universe The Punisher.
Marvel Universe versus the Punisher. Here's the idea. The 28 days later virus, it's not, but it is, hits the Marvel Universe. First, patient 0, Peter Parker.
Of course.
Of course, it's Peter Parker.
Of course.
Peter Parker, they find out about the disease because Peter is trying to take down the Rhino and knocks him into a during a hockey game, and then jumps down on him, and everybody's like, "Oh, great, Spider-Man's here. We don't have to worry." And then he starts to eat him, and people freak out. So essentially, it's kind of like a rage virus, although not. They're still smart, but this isn't zombies because this just brings out the absolute worst in them. Hulk is actually wearing, this is, you can't really see it, but that right there, that's Wolverine's claws. That's Wolverine's hand. He broke it off and wears it as a necklace.
Like a lucky rabbit's foot.
Pretty much.
How cute.
It is the end of the Marvel Universe. Punisher here is the last hero standing, and he has to go out and take out all the infected heroes that he can. Deadpool is great in this series. I'm not a Deadpool fan. You know, Deadpool is infected by this disease, but he still gets better. You know, every chance he gets, you know, to heal, and it kind of keeps him in between being absolutely enraged and just crazy Wade and going back and forth. So Punisher meets up with him at some point and doesn't really know whether he can trust anything that he says, and he can't. But it doesn't mean he's not telling him the truth sometimes.
Oh my god,
dude! There were like 3 or 4 series. It was Marvel Universe versus the Punisher, versus Wolverine, versus Hawkeye. They were
Deadpool.
Was there? I think that's separate though.
Or that he destroys the universe.
Yeah, they did a bunch of destroys and they did a bunch of, and that's not related. There are 3 or 4 that were launched out of this Jonathan Mayberry penned original story. This one I never hear anybody talk about anymore, guys. If you run into this book, it's definitely worth the pickup. I got these from I got the first 2 issues when they first came out, and then the other 2 here I had to buy. I came across them in a dollar bin a few years later, but I don't think a ton were printed. The later series, which I just didn't bring them up. The later series, there was a lot more of them, so you'll see them a little more often. But can't recommend them enough, man. They're really good reads.
yeah, I've never heard of him, so that's something I'll definitely have to look into reading.
What year, bro?
2010.
I wonder if they're on Marvel
Definitely
Unlimited.
have those.
What's
I
that?
don't have them, but I should definitely have those because
Yeah, that's it.
those up. But I didn't know they existed.
Yeah, they're great, man. Really, really good. If I come across them, I'll grab them because I don't see them very often, man. If you come across them, pick them up.
Well, I know someone that would come across them pretty easily.
Lady Fantastic. 50 Cent.
Gotta let me get back to my little old haunts. They're like closed right now, so I feel like I've been cock blocked.
I wouldn't have put it that way, but I feel the same way.
Well, that's the way I feel. You may not feel
I'm
like you're
cock
getting
blocked from
blocked, but I'm
everything.
getting cock blocked. I just want to see it as many times as I can.
Hey, after getting this, I feel like I just got the big D. And
Right.
maybe not segging. You know, we're going to seg into back to what we were talking about. Miracleman, go.
So yeah, Marvel Universe versus the Punisher. There, I had more, but I didn't want to keep going unless if you guys wanted to start some of yours.
I can show one.
What you got?
I have one of my favorite reads. I'm working on this collection. Anyone I can grab, but I have Judge Dredd. And here is a disease I don't think anybody wants to get. The Jigsaw disease.
Oh shit!
Oh.
So basically with this disease, like as you can see, if you get infected, literally parts of you start to disappear.
That's a fucking
And
virus right there, man.
yeah. And so, guess what their cure is for this one? There's a
Sex.
serum. look at Rob's face.
How do you function like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. But here's the cure: you take a serum, and it speeds up the process to kill you faster.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah. So there's no cure for this. So once you get it, you're kind of screwed.
Well, I guess if you're missing a piece of yourself, then I guess maybe if you can miss part of your brain and skull and your heart, I guess even if you get shot in the head, you keep living. So yeah, take a cure to kill you faster.
Yeah, so I thought this would be a pretty unique one. Because I mean, I have like a Marvel zombie book, but this is a little unique, I thought it would be pretty cool to show. Plus, it's Judge Dredd. Come on.
I love those Eagle Comics.
Same here.
Love those, man.
I have a bunch of them.
So lucky that we got those. You can find them real cheap because there's no heat on them, but they're just great. They're great stories. There's some of them are done by like just the best writers to come out of the writers and artists that come out of England.
Dennis, Warren Ellis, even more.
Yeah.
Everybody that was a great British writer that started writing stuff over here started on 2000 AD books and Judge Dredd.
Yep.
It's like a precursor for coming to America. You're not allowed to write for American comics unless you write for 2000
Got
AD.
Colin Bunn.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I ran down real quick while he was showing that. I grabbed those other Marvel Universe books. There's
nice.
Again, Jonathan Mayberry, same writer. These were fun, man. Hawkeye's the last Avenger who doesn't get infected. And then they did a Wolverine one, and for some reason I don't have issue 3 or 4 of this one. And I know at the end of it, he gets his hand bit off by the Hulk. So I don't know exactly how it goes down. But I know. And I didn't even realize these were Jonathan Mayberry until I had read V Wars. That's the launch of V Wars there with their free comic book day issue. He does really fun stories about disease, man. I don't know. This hopefully this guy's on a task force somewhere because he's got an idea of where we're going.
It sounds like he's too competent.
Well, that might be
it. If you're going to be in our task force in America, you got to be a flaming fucktard.
Apparently.
And wear scars and lick someone's asshole, and you know who we're talking about.
Jesus.
Don't lick asshole. Unless you're in love. Back to other people.
So I grabbed another one too here I wanted to show real quick. This here, y'all ever heard of this one?
Nope.
Ooh.
No, I've never heard of this one. That cover is awesome.
Although it does kind of remind me of We3 or WE3 by Morrison.
Do you see who the writer is?
Yeah, Garth Ennis.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this is all right. So here's what happens. All the humans lose it. This entire story, the Resistance was great. Comics Misexplained. That was really, really good. I hope those guys hang in there with this whole thing that's going on. So Rubber Red Charlie here is a story about all the humans losing their minds and basically the world ending from a human perspective, but told from the perspective of man's best friend.
That's really good. It's like Homeward Bound, but
yes,
a zombie apocalypse.
Yes, and the dogs, whenever any human talks, all dogs hear is dun, 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 dun. Like they don't understand any of the words. Right? And
oh my god!
But here's the thing: he essentially
people sound like that when they talk to me anyway.
That's fair. That's usually what I hear. But Enos makes it seem like so anytime a dog barks, what a dog is doing is going, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. That's what barking means. The cats, whenever they're, I forget whatever they're doing, but basically he makes up these things for each animal, that when this animal is doing this, just like the seagulls in Finding Nemo. Mine. Yes. Same thing. Dogs are going, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. And that's how they greet each other. They run up yelling, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. This is in trade. It's a little rough. It's definitely a mature title. It came out from Avatar after all. But it's a really good book, man. If you can very easily get it. You can order this off of the Zon and have it delivered right to your house. You don't even have to go anywhere. You can probably order it from a lot of comic shops. Or your local comic shop might even stock it. If you can get it from them, definitely do so to support them. But really good book to read.
But to be fair, if you're ordering it off of Amazon, expect a 3-week wait.
Right. Yeah. Well, we want to give people options to get them the way they want to get them. I mean, I guess it's
eventually.
Eventually.
That's the option. You get it eventually.
Someday. How about you, Rob? Did you have any?
I have a couple here. I think most people kind of remember last week that I was telling you all that I will finally get around to reading Crisis on Infinite Earths. I know so many people are excited for me that I'm reading it for the first time, and I am having difficulty reading through it because the dialogue's kind of clunky. The writing is a lot, and it feels like I don't know, but it's interesting. It's fun. It's picked up for me, but here you go. Here's a good disease. The whole anti-life, everything just being wiped out all at the same time. Your disease. So I'll finish this week. Actual diseases, because you brought this up earlier. The Phalanx disease from the X-Men. So we have the first cameo appearance of that right here, and you get to see the whole Phalanx, which kind of looks quite a bit like Warlock. So it was this what you were telling me before, that this is the Warlock disease?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it counts. So I'm just going to say it. If you're a vampire, you have quite a disease and you can't get rid of it. There's no cure. You just got to drink that blood. Unless you're Blade, then you just have to go kill other people that have it. It's a very inequitable sort of thing, being a vampire and a vampire hunter. And lastly, they just option this. Sweet Tooth, if you need a good read, is Vertigo. The first issue started at $1, and now it's like $35 on eBay because movie, but wait like a couple weeks because those top 10s are being put out by Key Collector app. It makes you go buy, and it makes people sell a whole bunch of crap that's in their back catalog, but after a couple weeks it gets right back to like $10 again. So wait a couple weeks, you could probably buy a whole run of Sweet Tooth pretty easily. But it was pretty good. It was, well, the guy feels sorry for the little boy with the horns, and the little boy with the horns just doesn't know how to live. He's like a little pet, but the whole world was just blanketed by some virus that mutated everybody into this weird animal human hybrid thing. So yeah.
Sounds interesting.
That's weird.
I definitely have to read that.
Hey, we got Two Gun Pedro. Pew pew.
Pew. What's up?
If you're going to show Dracula's.
Oh, I missed getting that. My comic shop just sold out of that when I went back to it to go pick it up when I got all those Fantastic Fours.
I got this from the pawn shop. So this was a $3 pickup here. Now, why is Giant Size Dracula #5 a big deal, Rob?
Because it's the first time John Byrne worked for Marvel Comics at this point.
Oh, it is
awesome looking.
Yeah. What was that last part?
It's awesome looking.
Yeah. So there's his first work with Marvel. And it's actually the story's plotted by Tony Isabella, which man, if you get a chance to follow somebody on Twitter ever, follow Tony Isabella. That guy's awesome, man. One of the best people to interact with. He's very appreciative of all of his fans, and definitely happy to interact with us. But he was the plotter. John Byrne, artist, his very first work. But Dracula, vampirism. That's probably one of your best, most infectious diseases, right? Like when I say best, I mean coolest. It's one of the coolest ways to die.
Hold on. There's a best disease. Tell that to the diseased.
Hey, listen, I'd rather have vampirism than like the flesh-eating virus, because I can still live with vampirism.
That's a flesh-eating bacteria. I don't think there's a virus that eats flesh, actually.
Scientists.
They don't want to be a dick.
Oh my gosh.
There's a difference.
What you got, Mind Shift?
Oh, sorry. I found another one of my Judge Dredd books, which is awesome. Hold on, let me show you guys. Yeah, he is death.
Oh yeah.
Death.
You've been judged. Pretty awesome. I have a since we're talking about vampires. I've got this from. See, we got flea markets up here. I got this at a flea market. Blood Plus Water.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good book. I didn't realize when I first got it, it was actually signed by what's his name, Jude Winnick. I don't know if I'm.
Oh, Judd Winnick.
Judd Winnick.
The real world.
Yeah.
The Red Hood.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, this story is pretty good. I was doing some research on it. I guess this guy got screwed over and had got hepatitis A, I think, and then he found out that his friends were, he was dying basically, and he found out his friends were vampires and they wanted to save him, so they bit him. So pretty interesting. Since we're talking about vampirism, that is a disease that is roaming the lands.
I have a question.
What's up?
If that dude became a vampire, when he bit other people, would he turn them into a vampire and give them Hep C?
And that's what I was thinking too. Okay. I was wondering the same thing.
Because that's nasty.
Yeah, I told, but they don't. These vampires don't eat humans; they eat animals. They kind of like the Twilight situation. So he was like, "Yeah, we don't eat the humans. We eat animals." So, and they were showing him the ropes of being a vampire.
But does he turn other people into vampires?
I don't know. I haven't read that far in the series, so I think it became a TV show too. I'm not sure, but I would be surprised. But here's another one. I don't know if any of you guys have read Jeff Lemire's Family Tree, but we're talking apocalyptic situation, except everybody's turning into trees.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh yeah, I love.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's trippy.
It's Groot.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Did anybody read After Death by Jeff Lemire? Because I have the whole 3 oversized books of that. Never read.
Oh, really?
Never read it.
Y'all should read Lemire's Thanos before Donny Cates takes
it. I know. I've heard this. I heard the same thing.
Read them.
I need to read it.
I will.
It's good.
Yeah, that's what I had. I mean, I have other stuff, of course, since we're talking about zombies,
right.
Everybody has to throw that out there.
I mostly just wanted to bitch.
Oh yeah,
throw this onto the screen. I'm sure everybody that's read Walking Dead is familiar with the fact that you never got a true explanation. So apparently there's been these reports going around that Robert Kirkman says that it was zombie spores, but anyone that knows the history of Walking Dead remembers that right around issue 75, they had a backup story where aliens were involved with the zombies. But at the end of the book, they never solved the zombie crisis. They just, kind of called it, and they trimmed it, but they didn't cure zombieism. And right at the very beginning, just to sell the damn book, that he had to kind of lie to Image Comics and say, yeah, it's zombies, but they're zombies from space.
Oh my gosh.
So what I heard about that was he went to Eric Larson with Walking Dead. And his original idea was to call it Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, it was the sequel.
But I think the color reprint of issue 1 has the original storyboard, or the original story he had taken to Larson to pitch the idea. And Larson said, I think you got a good idea here, but why would you want to name it something somebody else somebody else already used? This is a name that's, remember, with Romero, you can name it something that people remember you for, and it would make it your own thing, and it wouldn't be reliant on anything else, because you're just using the name. It's this story is certainly not reliant. And he ultimately went with Walking Dead. But that whole space spore thing, just so you guys know, I was reading Walking Dead from when it first came out. I sold my first issue a few years back and took the family on a cruise.
Nice.
And I bought it for $2.95. It was on the stand at the shop. There's issue 2. I still have the rest of the run. And but he said in the first issue in the what would become the letter column that let me back up. You mentioned issue 75 with the space aliens. The reason he did that was because in issue 1, he said, if this book ever makes it 75 issues, I'll probably reveal what did it then. It'll probably be like, I don't know, space aliens or something.
Yep.
And that's what he did. But he did that. That was supposed to be tongue in cheek. That was supposed to be, he was having fun. That wasn't supposed to be real. Yeah. Because it went color and they were all superheroes and they had like weapons. Rick's hand had been cut off. He had like some giant like scythe. Skith, whatever they call those.
Really sci-fi comic booky.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm glad it didn't go in that direction. Instead, that's why if you wanted to go in that direction, there's a book for that. It's called Fear Agent by Rick Remender.
Right. Oh yeah. That one's actually really good too. Alcoholic
sci-fi guy, where they never quite reveal how he can function by being an alcoholic all the time.
Right. Apparently helps in space.
Yeah.
I am a zombie fan or anything zombie related. I got the whole Marvel Zombies run. There's another great series to get. And again, if you're sitting at home, you're trapped at home, you ain't got no local open comic shops, these books should be available. You should be able to order them as trade and get them in. Everybody knows Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, Kirkman did that one too, right?
What's that?
Kirkman did that one too, right?
Yeah, yep. And then they are bringing Marvel Zombies back. It was solicited. I don't know what the situation is, but it was.
Yeah, I have first issue right here.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. It's pretty decent.
They have an ongoing coming. They have a miniseries coming. Miniseries coming.
I was going to pick it up until I realized Robert Kirkman wasn't writing it, and I didn't know who was, so I just passed it.
Yeah, that's true.
It was good. It wasn't as great as the originals.
Yeah, I mean, they released 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth, I'm pretty sure, wasn't even written by him. A bunch of one-shots, and I just lost interest because you can only have so many zombies before the zombies have been around for so long. I guess. But you did have Archie.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Afterlife with Archie is the greatest series that I ever lost for no reason other than success. It was great. It was great, Mike.
I want to get off of here because I'm getting tired.
Okay. I know that Miracleman has some stuff that he has to accomplish after this, which I'm going to wish you all the luck for. So how about we go around the room right before? Let's just look at what Mindshift has, and then we'll say go ahead and talk yourself.
I was just going to show this more, some more goofiness of zombies, Age of Ultron versus the Marvel Zombies. They eventually end up teaming up in this and eating a lot of superheroes.
And I just really wish that Battle World stuff felt more relevant. It felt like it was just, hey, let's make a few bucks by reprinting, not reprinting.
Yeah.
We'll call it Planet
Well,
Hulk, and we'll call it this and that, and Civil War. It had nothing to do with anything.
All, A-Force came from them. So a lot of, some good stuff came from them,
Well,
But yeah, and Thor's, because I love that Secret War run,
That I did like. It was Hickman, so of course I was going to like that.
Yeah.
I think you were right. Jonathan Mayberry was working on a lot of those too.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, so I know that Lady Fantastic wants to get off. I think everyone wants to get off their own sort of way. So going around the room, Lady Fantastic, do you have anything going on in your channel? Any auctions? Anything going on?
Not that I know of. I'm going slowly insane over time, so you may not see me. I'll probably be back. I don't know. It's just been crazy with this COVID shit, and I don't know. I just feel weird and isolated, and I'll be around.
Well, we love you. We want to make sure that you're okay. If you need anything, feel free to reach out to me anytime, because I just pretend. You see this smile? This isn't real. This is
just a facade. Yeah, I know. I'm probably just going to watch. Like, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately from a lot of different people, hearing like their perspectives on life and experiences and things. So I don't know. I just want to put my head in a good space. So I've been trying to find like comedy, and I don't know, man. I'm not like listening to like positive shit, but it's more like interviews with people that I don't know. I don't know much about. But anyways, sorry. Yeah, fucking viruses. I'm not really talking about anything. Seinfeld.
No, I mean, from what I've been reading from in positive ways, that if you're watching old stuff that you're familiar with, like for myself, I've been rewatching Community. Don't know if everyone's seen it. It's one of my favorite things ever is from
Great
the
show.
creator of Rick and Morty, and it's familiar. I've seen each episode at least 3 or 5 times. I know what's going to happen, but it's a sense of at least I know what's going to happen.
Like a comfort blanket.
Yes.
Like that's the way I feel like with so there's this comedy guy, this comedian dude, his name's Joey Coco Diaz.
Coco Diaz. He was in Spider-Man.
He's funny as fuck.
And he's on Periscope.
Yeah, he is. And he is so freaking funny, dude. I will have to send you, there's some Joe Rogan podcasts, which, I mean, I don't feel one way or another about Joe Rogan. I don't think he's bad or good. He's just a dude. I think he gives a good interview and has lots of good guests. Koki
was on news radio.
Joey Diaz, man, he is so funny. You guys got to check him out if you want a gut laugh. Another thing, if you want a gut laugh, just saying, recently Conan did a face chat with Tracy Morgan, and that shit had me in stitches. That shit had me in stitches. Conan was like, so what have you been up to, Tracy? And he's like, trying to get my wife pregnant because I don't will that. Sorry.
Ow. Damn. Okay, you're good.
What's up, Bueller?
Hey, Bueller's in the house. Hey, Bueller.
We're not trying to get anybody pregnant.
No, it just sounded like you were going to try and tell, like, you guys get pregnant. Oh, my God.
That D&D episode's good.
But for those that don't know who Joey Coco Diaz is, go back and watch, I think it was Spider-Man 2, because you have the one scene when Peter's passed along with his mask off, and it seemed very out of touch. But then he's about to get attacked, and this, well, he's not as big as he is now, but you have this big New Yorker guy, and he gets in front of everyone and goes, if you want to get to him, you got to get through all of us. That was Joey Coco Diaz.
Yep.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Him out. He's got the craziest stories, dude. He's freaking hilarious. Oh my God.
He's real.
he has told some fucking crazy stories. He's had a crazy life. But
Thank you, Con.
character. Yeah. Well, I'm out. I'm deucing. I'm gonna, watch something shitty and live my life. And it's not gonna be like perfect, but I'm gonna make it.
At worst, at least you have like 40, 50 years of Doctor Who.
Fuck
That's
that.
what out of everything.
I'm not watching all that old Doctor Who.
New stuff that started after, not the first guy that was in the G.I. Joe movies. Started with like the David Tennant and Matt Smith stuff, and you'll be okay.
All right, David Tennant's cool, man, but that's one thing.
He is.
Oh yeah.
But all that shit before it, I'm not watching that shit.
No, you don't have to. I didn't. And I've watched a couple of them, but then it just feels like you're watching. It's like reading the latest issue of a good Amazing Spider-Man. Sorry, Nick Spencer. And going, wow, this is really good. Let's read something way back from the 1960s. And like, wow, this is really clunky dialogue. This is just, even though you go, but it's Stan Lee. It's like it was written for the 60s with like small children in mind. So keeping that in mind.
Like, I find some older Stan Lee's ones, like some of them can be really verbose and fun with wordplay. And it's like, hell yeah, man, y'all are fucking poets.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Then there's other times where the dialogue seems so stilted where you go,
I don't know what's happening.
Real life.
Yeah.
I like being verbose. I like seeing people drop like nickel and dime words all over the place. But the second when people don't use contractions, it pisses me off because everybody does. When you start sounding like you're writing for an English teacher or a history teacher where you're worried about that red pen that might come out, I go, it doesn't sound realistic.
I do not know what you are talking about.
Precisely.
Instead of saying, I don't know what you're talking about.
I cannot fathom by which. It's like no one says by which.
I cannot fathom the depth of your butthole.
Bunghole.
Deep thoughts. Is Mr. Miracle already going and making miracles?
Oh, speaking of, how about you go ahead and promote yourself? Miracleman.
Hey, so I never got to tell you my Instagram story, but
Go ahead.
quick version is I did create an Instagram account, and then I sat down and I boomered myself right out of the app. I was like, what do I do with this?
No.
So
I feel the same way about Twitter.
see, that's fair.
Shit.
That's fair.
You see what's on the screen right now? That. Just crop it so that, you're not just getting the zombies and the shield, because people, they try and take pictures of comic books, and it's so cropped, you don't see the issue number, you don't see the bottom or top. Just shoot it a little further away, and you can crop it into the program, and you're good to go. Just hashtag the hell out of things.
Yeah.
I know you're not talking about me.
No,
Shit.
I'm talking about literally everybody else on Instagram.
Except for me.
That's how I started, just posting books. That's it.
Okay.
Never my piece.
Since Bueller's on here, I just want to say, hey, Bueller, look, I don't know if you've seen this, but you need to get this, and you need to know it exists. Jeffrey Dahmer versus Jesus Christ. This should be your next key. You should do a review on Jeffrey Dahmer versus Jesus Christ.
I'm hunting that book.
Guess what? In the end, Ross Perot wins.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
This is your tip of the week. Get Jesus Christ versus frickin' who is he fighting? Jeffrey Dahmer?
Dahmer!
Yeah.
Mr. Personality himself.
Why not?
If we all get it, we got to review it.
I know, it is really crazy. I read it, and there's like a Pope Gestapo. It's nuts.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Pope Gestapo.
Why not?
There's a Pope Gestapo, and they're like all ripped and roided out, and they're coming and they're shooting all the Democrats. It's a wild read. Yeah, you got to get it.
Sounds like my kind of book. So, Miracleman, do you have anything coming up, which is the story that you're about to tell? So, how are you back on Twitter, and what's going on with that Instagram?
So anyway, the Instagram, I'm going to start using the Instagram this week. I'll start posting stuff, and I'll add you fellas and lady on there, and we'll start putting some books up on there whenever I get them. We might even do some. I hear you do things like they call stories, where you like have multiple pictures that go over time.
You can do that. You can do videos where you don't have to show your face, and you can do kind of like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I'll probably do some of them things, but I'll let you know about it. As for Twitter, I put if anybody's curious, I put a thread. It's pinned to my page exactly what happened. I even posted the tweets that they said were hateful, and I'll agree. A couple of them weren't the nicest things I've ever said about a fellow human being. But they weren't hateful.
They didn't tell someone to go kill themselves.
No, I didn't attack anybody based on their race, gender, nationality, beliefs, nothing. I did say a individual reminded me of a sociopathic person who would have dead things crammed in their crawl space. But let's be honest, if Twitter was being the nice police, there would be nobody on Twitter. Everybody would be banned from Twitter. Okay.
Do you know what I hate the most?
What?
I hate the most when dead things get caught in my crawl space.
I'm with you on that. But so yeah. So I'm back on there. If you want to come on by and say hi, come on by.
And what is your Twitter again?
It's at Komodo1977.
There you go. It's right there underneath the Marvel Zombie. Miracleman is Komodo1977 on Twitter. He does have an Insta right now. We will get that information and we'll throw it in the bio for next week. Still doesn't have YouTube or Face, but he does write for Batman's Bookcase. So where is that website?
You know what? I think it's just Batman's Bookcase. I haven't. I just follow the link from my Twitter. If you do the Googles, just type in Batman's Bookcase. It'll take you right to it.
All right. Hell yeah. And let's see. Miracleman. Not Miracleman. Mind Shift. You're right below me. Hi, dude. Yourself.
I don't have anything planned this week. Well, I found a new place, so I'm transitioning to moving right now. So that's my plan for the next week and a half. So just trying to reset up my setup at my new place and figure out what the internet is looking like and how strong the signal is and where I need to set up at. So that's all I'll be doing.
Well, the cool thing that I remember you telling us was the fact that because you're on YouTube, because you have an Instagram where you're making videos all the time, isn't it because of that reason that you wound up getting this place?
Yeah. So when I sent them a little bit about who I was, I also sent them the link to my channel so they can gauge what my personality is like, and they like my personality. So new place. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. So that's what I'll be working on. So I apologize if my internet is not that strong, but I will be working on that. But you'll see a new setup next week.
Well, that's all cool. I'm glad that that has been working out for you, because when this whole pandemic started, we were all worried for one another for one reason or another. That was one of the biggest things I was worried about for you, so I'm glad that worked out. It's Miss Kitty.
Oh, Miss Kitty, she's that pretty girl.
Yes.
Snoot. Miss Kitty. She's dead. Miss Kitty.
No.
Hey. Oh, there's going.
Sorry, stop waking me.
Remember, everybody, rule number 1, don't die, especially Miss Kitty. Especially if you're
don't you be dying.
Cats are worth more than humans.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you can get
so
banned.
I guess that's probably me. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is the Not Near Mint crew that you are looking here before you. Hopefully next week we'll be able to drop the link in the chat. We still don't know what the topic will be yet. I thought we were going to talk a little bit more about some symbiotes and other things, but our show is fluid. We never have everything pre-scripted. We just try and make this entertaining for everybody, and anyone that watches on the replay, and anybody that watches this live. So I want to thank everybody that's been here in the chat with us tonight. And as far as myself, my name is Rob Worst. I'm the host of this show. Everybody's a host. We share this one and the same. We're part of the comic book community. So I hope you wash your hands, wash your ass, wash your crotch, and hopefully not all with the same brush. So smash that like, do sub each other up in the chat, and thank you for joining us. And we will be returning next week at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And whether we're sane or not, when we're losing our minds, it just means that things get more interesting. Like, right? It has to. Things have to get better. Right? Oh my God, help me. Yes, this was the Not Near Mint crew. Thank you all. And Tourette Syndrome time. Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.